Good morning, everyone. I've just climbed out of bed and turned the camera on so that you and I can share this day together. Among other things, today we will bake an enormous batch of granola. And for dinner tonight, we will prepare a low-carb version of classic Manicotti. But before we do anything, I need to brew some coffee. I recently purchased paper filters for my percolator, and I really like them. These filters are not required for percolators, but they do make cleanup a breeze. While the coffee is brewing, we can let Avery outdoors and check on the seedlings in the grow room. These are the trays of African violets and seedlings that you and I started together in previous episodes. The Brussels sprouts, basil, and eucalyptus seeds are all germinating now, and I'm happy to report that the snapdragons that germinated more than a month ago and then did not budge for weeks are finally strutting their first set of true leaves. And here are the parsley, lavender, and bells of Ireland seedlings. The onions that you and I started from seed are so tall now that they no longer fit beneath the grow lights. We can bring the onions outdoors to harden them off. We will plant the individual onions into garden beds in the next video. I need to bottom water the seedlings. Then we can head back to the kitchen for our first blessed cup of coffee. Then it's off to the dog park, where Avery has a play date with her friend Caper. Caper is a 7-month-old golden retriever that belongs to my friend Tessa. Tessa is filming this part of the video while I toss a frisbee for Caper. As you can see from my visible breath, the dog park is very chilly this morning. But dogs don't seem to mind the cold, and neither do I. Avery really needs this exercise. Her morning isn't complete without a trip to the dog park. Home again, I'm going about my daily grooming routine, which always begins with a shower and ends with a spritz of hairspray. I'm shaved, showered, shampooed, and blow-dried, so let's head to the shops. I need to buy ingredients for a big batch of granola and also some egg crepe manicotti. Despite today's cold weather, spring has indeed sprung in my neck of the woods. The deciduous trees are budding, and the fields you see on this drive will soon be plowed and seeded. In a few short weeks, all the dull brown will turn vibrant green. I can't wait. Tiara Farm is my favorite place to shop. The staff here is super friendly, and the products are of the highest quality. Although the farm is only a 4-minute drive from my house, you can shop here too. Tiara Farm has generously provided a free shipping code that I will link in the description box below. For the granola, I'm buying organic oats, shredded coconut, pumpkin seeds, and various add-ins. I also need coconut oil and local maple syrup. Our next stop is the berry farm, which is only 30 seconds north of Tiara Farm. I'm grabbing ingredients that I will need for the Manicotti. We are home again, and this is what I bought at the berry farm. Whole milk ricotta. I bought some plain, I think this is whole milk yogurt. I will have the yogurt with some of the granola because, of course, I want to taste it. I have refried beans because I might turn some of the egg crepes we are making later into refried bean enchiladas, in addition to the ricotta we're going to make. And I have the mozzarella for that dish, cilantro for the enchiladas, and parsley for the manicotti. And then I have all of the ingredients from Tiara Farm for the big batch of granola. One of the things I love about Tiara Farm is, well, first, it's a wonderful shopping experience, either in person or online. And all of their bags are compostable, and all of their jars are recyclable. So there's really no plastic. We're going to get organized, and then we will get cracking on the granola. I'm tripling the ingredients for my basic recipe for granola, which I will link in the description box below. And we are starting with old-fashioned type rolled oats. You know what? Then I need organic shredded coconut. This is unsweetened. Nice thing about granola, you can put just about anything you want in it, as long as you have the basic components. And I always make granola with rolled oats and unsweetened coconut. Also, unsalted pumpkin seeds. raw sliced almonds, organic raw hazelnuts because I love them, coconut oil, which I need to melt. I will need the whole jar. Maple syrup, just for a hint of sweetness. You can always leave maple syrup or honey or any kind of sugar out and rely on dried fruit for the sweetness. Then I need some salt because all of my ingredients here are unsalted. And I want cinnamon for a hint of warmth. Now, after this is baked, I will stir in some dried fruit. I don't put the dried fruit in now because, well, it would probably melt in the oven. And the reason I'm making such a big batch of granola is because we go through it very rapidly, especially now that garden season is beginning. It's great to be able to get up in the morning, not have to actually cook anything, just pour some granola into a bowl, add yogurt or milk. Really, you're all set. Granola is also a terrific afternoon pick-me-up. I want to divide this mixture among 3 baking trays. I might need a 4th tray. Well, this granola looks pretty already. I like the green from the pumpkin seeds. Spread this out. And transfer some of the granola from this sheet over to the next one because I think it doesn't have quite as much. And into the oven they go. These will need probably, well, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. I want the granola to turn lightly brown and become very crisp. And probably halfway through the baking time, I will give the granola a toss. For that vast amount of food, I only have 1, 2, 3, I only have like 4 items to wash. I'm going to wash these while the granola is baking, and then we can get started on the egg crepes. On to the egg crepes. Now, these crepes are wonderful for anyone who is on a low-carb or low-glycemic diet. You can substitute the crepes for traditional crepes or for any dish that requires tortillas. And the recipe for the egg crepe Manicotti that we are making today is on my website, and I will link that in the description below. And I am doubling the recipe. And the recipe starts with eggs. And I should mention that you can freeze these crepes after they have cooled. And I want to beat these eggs really well. Then I need some milk. And a pinch of salt. You could leave the salt out if you prefer. And that's it. Our crepe batter is made. So there's no flour in this. Oh, and I do save my eggshells. I crush them and put them in the garden beds. So I have a 6-inch diameter skillet here. This is my only non-stick skillet, and it works really well for these egg crepes. When the skillet is good and hot, grease it. I'm greasing mine with this stuff. And then add a small amount, about a quarter cup or a third cup of the egg mixture. Swirl it about and let this cook until the crepe sets up. That won't take but 30 to 45 seconds. Egg crepes are so thin that you do not have to flip them. So you really only cook one side. And here is the final egg crepe. Now you can stack these without fear that they will stick. I lost track of how many I made, but I made a lot of egg crepes. And in the time it took me to make these crepes, the granola is ready. I have to tell you, my whole kitchen smells just fantastic. And this granola looks beautiful. Give everything a little stir. It's nicely toasted, which means the oats will be very crisp. The hazelnuts will be very crisp as well. We need to let the granola cool before we can add the dried fruit. And while we wait for that to happen, we can get started with the egg crepe Manicotti. A little prep work for the Manicotti. I need some tomato sauce that is seasoned. And I really like this Pomi strained tomatoes. It's very thick and it tastes like tomatoes directly out of the garden. And we can season this up with some Italian herb blend, or you could just add some oregano. I also want some garlic powder, or you could use garlic paste. Actually, you could use whatever Italian tomato sauce you love. Give this a mix. And I'm not sure that I need to heat this on the stovetop, but I'm going to do it anyway. This sauce will be cooked in the main dish. Then I need some fresh parsley. This is the parsley that we bought together at the Berry Farm. The Berry Farm grows all of their herbs in greenhouses all winter long. We can transfer the parsley to a food prep bowl. And we can add these parsley stems to the collection of vegetable scraps that we can use later for vegetable stock. I save my scraps and then I freeze them. And since we are working on green things, I'm not sure if we will get to the enchiladas today, but I do want to chop up some cilantro in the event that we do get to the enchiladas today. I didn't save my cilantro stems because I don't use cilantro in stock. I'm going to pop this into the freezer. Once again, food prep bowl so that everything is ready to go. Then we need mozzarella. Now the recipe for this egg crepe Manicotti is on my website, and I will link that in the description below. And I am doubling the recipe. I should say Manicotti freezes very well. So one Manicotti will be for dinner tonight, and the other will be for dinner some future night. And I need to shred this mozzarella. I wanted to mention how much fun I have just hanging out with you, and I am truly grateful for your company. I have just washed my cutting board. Now I'm drying it. I like to clean up as I go when I cook. Let me know if you do that too. This way, I only have a few dishes to wash at a time instead of a sink full of dishes. Now we can assemble the filling for the manicotti. We need ricotta cheese, about half of this mozzarella cheese, parsley, and some of the Italian herb seasoning that we used in the sauce. Give everything a mix. Well, this was a very easy filling to make. If you don't count the shredding of the mozzarella, which is always a tricky job. Mozzarella is a very soft cheese. Then I need my egg crepes, and I need a 9 by 13 baking dish, which we can grease just lightly. So here are the beautiful egg crepes. And we can spoon some of this delightful filling onto the edge of a crepe, maybe a little more than that. And then simply roll the crepe into a cylinder. You can see how flexible these crepes are. And then this goes into the prepared baking dish. The sauce smells wonderful, not only because of the the strained tomatoes that I used, but also because of that Italian herb seasoning. And yes, I know this is not real manicotti. We can finish with some mozzarella. I'm going to cover this dish and then pop it into the refrigerator until it's closer to dinner time. Then I will simply preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and bake this off until the cheese melts. And that will take from 25 to 30 minutes. And then for a freezer meal, I'm going to do the same with the remaining crepes. And I don't think I made enough of these egg crepes to do the egg crepe enchiladas. So we will have to do those enchiladas another day. I just gave my dog Avery one of the egg crepes. Was it delicious? It was very delicious. A little sauce and a little cheese. And I will cover this dish and then pop it into the freezer. I'm going to reserve this cilantro in a food prep bowl that has a lid. And I like to put a paper towel in here too. It helps absorb some of the moisture that can make a fresh herb go bad very quickly. The cilantro can go into the refrigerator, and I will have my leftover parsley on a salad along with dinner. And while we wait for dinner time, I'm going to get cleaned up here, and then I need to go practice piano. Well, that was a good hour spent at the piano. And I can tell you that Chopin's scherzo that I'm working on is a bear of a piece. So the granola has completely cooled. So now we can go about the mix-ins. Amongst the mix-ins are these organic dried apple rings that you and I bought together at Tiara Farm. I'm going to chop up some of them. I also want to chop up some of these dried apricots. Oh, these smell wonderful. These are much easier to cut than the apples are. And we can add the apples and apricots to this batch of granola. Stir it all together. Yeah, this will make a very healthy... Excuse me, Avery? You can't be up here. Off, please. Up, please. Thank you. She's probably going to start barking now. Yeah, so I was saying, this... Excuse me. You're going to have to leave the room. You cannot have this. No, sweetheart. Let me know if your dog loves homemade granola. So where were we? Oh, I was saying that this granola will make a very healthy breakfast because it has a lot of fiber from the dried fruit, plus all of the goodness from the rolled oats and the pumpkin seeds and everything else. And I like to store my granola in glass jars, although you could certainly use any storage container. Any airtight storage container will work for granola. And I have my leak-proof lids here. This is for a wide mouth jar. This looks beautiful. This remaining granola will be a little snack for me this afternoon. I'll enjoy it with yogurt. Actually, there's quite a lot in here. I will enjoy half of this with yogurt. Well, what can I say? I made a lot of granola, and that's perfectly fine. We will go through this very quickly. And in this batch, I want to add some of the organic dried blueberries that we bought. These are wild blueberries. I also want to add some dried goji berries to this. I need a bigger bowl. In this batch, I'm going to add organic dried cranberries, organic dried Zante currants. You can have so much fun with the add-ins. Now, while I'm packing up all of this granola, I wanted to mention that yesterday, my friend Victoria and I revisited the piano shop that you and I visited last week. Victoria is a pianist. Well, you've met her in other videos. And I asked her to play the pianos that I was interested in. And we came up with one that we were particularly fond of. And the piano store has put a hold on that Steinway Grand. So the store is going to do a bit of work on the piano, and then they want me to come in next week to try out the piano again. So we shall see how that goes. I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I want to show you just how much granola we made today. I just checked my pantry, and sure enough, I have more of these wonderful leak-proof screw-on lids. So I'm going to take off the regular canning tops and replace them with the screw-on lids. So we made a total of 11 quarts of delicious granola. Nobody's going to go hungry in this house anytime soon. And just like that, it's approaching dinner time. So I preheated my oven, and I'm going to pop this egg crepe Manicotti in to bake. I will let the Manicotti bake until the cheese melts and everything is hot throughout. It will take from 25 to 30 minutes. I'm having an early dinner tonight because I'm hungry. This smells wonderful. And I'm on my own for dinner today. And no wine with this meal because I still have other projects to tend to. I need to vacuum the stairs, and I forgot to have a workout this morning, so I'm going to have a workout tonight. So I have some spinach that I have lightly dressed with homemade blue cheese dressing. I want to garnish it with some of the parsley that we chopped earlier today. Can also garnish the manicotti. The manicotti that isn't really manicotti. For dessert, I'm having some of the yogurt that we purchased earlier today, topped with some of the granola that we made. I just want to have a taste of this manicotti. Oh, that mozzarella cheese is all nice and melty. This is just wonderful. And of course, if you wanted to put cooked sausage into this dish, you certainly could, or ground beef, or shredded chicken would be wonderful. Another bite. And while you are here, I also want to try some of the granola with the yogurt. The granola is perfectly crunchy, and I love this particular mixture of the oats and the pumpkin seeds and the almonds and the goji berries, and I think there are some sultanas in here too. It's really wonderful. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today as we did a lot of projects, including the 11 quarts of granola and this egg crepe manicotti, and I have another one in the freezer. And I'm sorry we did not get to the enchiladas, but maybe we can do that in another episode. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate your company. And until the next video, please treat yourself very, very well. And I will see you next time. Bye, friends.